Hello everyone. Welcome back to Voice of Books. Today we're diving into a classic that has transformed how people interact and connect. How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Whether you're looking to enhance your social skills or improve your professional relationships, this book offers timeless wisdom that can make a real difference. So, let's get started with part 1, where we uncover the fundamental techniques in handling people. Ready? Let's jump in. Alright, let's dive into the 3 essential principles Carnegie lays out in this first part. Imagine these as the building blocks for better relationships and smoother interactions. Each principle is a gem of wisdom designed to make your social and professional life more harmonious. So let's break it down. First on our list is, if you want to gather honey, don't kick over the beehive. This might sound a bit like a metaphor, but Carnegie's advice is clear. Don't criticize, condemn, or complain. Let me explain with a quick story. Imagine you're at a family dinner, and your uncle is telling a story that you find a bit boring. Instead of rolling your eyes or making a sarcastic remark, try to engage positively. Perhaps ask him to elaborate or share a related story of your own. By focusing on the positive, you not only avoid conflict but also foster a more enjoyable atmosphere. Carnegie's point here is that criticism often puts people on the defensive and can lead to resentment. Instead, by offering encouragement and focusing on what's good, you build stronger, more positive relationships. For example, if you're a manager giving feedback to your team, start by acknowledging their hard work before discussing areas for improvement. This approach creates a more constructive environment. Next, Carnegie highlights the big secret of dealing with people. And guess what? The big secret is actually quite straightforward: make people feel important. This is where Carnegie's advice really shines. Let's dive into an example. Imagine you're meeting a potential client for the first time. Instead of diving straight into your pitch, start by asking about their interests and opinions. Show genuine curiosity about their work and challenges. This not only helps you understand them better, but also makes them feel valued. It's a simple but powerful way to build rapport and trust. Now let's move to the third principle. He who can do this has the whole world with him. He who cannot walks a lonely way. This principle is all about showing genuine interest in others. It's like the secret sauce for building meaningful connections. Think about someone you admire. They probably have a knack for making you feel special. They listen to you, remember details about your life, and show empathy. By doing the same, asking about someone's day, remembering their interests, and showing understanding, you build a bond that goes beyond surface-level interactions. Let me share a story to bring this to life. Picture this. You're at a networking event, and you meet someone who seems a bit shy. Instead of jumping into a self-promotion, you ask them about their passions and listen intently. You might learn that they're an avid traveler or have a unique hobby. By showing genuine interest and engaging in a meaningful conversation, you make a memorable impression and build a potential friendship. So, let's recap the core principles from part 1 of How to Win Friends and Influence People. 1. Avoid criticism. Focus on the positives and avoid criticizing, condemning, or complaining. 2. Make others feel important. Acknowledge and appreciate others' efforts and make them feel valued. 3. Show genuine interest. Engage with people, listen actively, and show empathy to build stronger connections. I hope these insights from Dale Carnegie's classic book help you enhance your interactions and build better relationships. Remember, it's the little things that often make the biggest difference. Now we're diving into part 2, where Carnegie shares 6 powerful ways to make people like you. This part is packed with practical advice that can transform your social interactions and professional relationships. So let's get started. Alright, let's dive into these 6 ways with real-life examples and actionable tips. Each principle is designed to help you connect better with others and create lasting impressions. Our first principle is, do this and you'll be welcome anywhere. Carnegie's advice here is simple but powerful: smile. It's something we often overlook, but a genuine smile can open doors and create a positive atmosphere. Think about a time when someone greeted you with a big, sincere smile. Probably made you feel immediately at ease. Now imagine applying this in your daily life, whether it's at work, during a meeting, or even at home. Smiling not only makes you appear more approachable, but also can uplift the mood of those around you. Here's a story to illustrate this. Imagine you're at a new job, and you walk into the office with a bright smile. Your colleagues notice this warmth and start to feel more comfortable around you. This simple gesture helps you blend in and build rapport quickly. Next up is a simple way to make a good first impression. Carnegie emphasizes the importance of remembering people's names. It's a small gesture that makes a big impact. Remembering and using someone's name shows respect and personal connection. For instance, if you're at a networking event and meet someone named Sarah, using her name in your conversation, "It's great to meet you, Sarah," makes the interaction feel more personal and memorable. Here's a real-life example. Imagine you're a manager meeting a new team member. By remembering their name and using it in conversations, you build a personal connection and make them feel valued right from the start. Moving on to our third principle. If you don't do this, you are headed for trouble. Carnegie's advice here is to avoid arguing. It's easy to get caught up in a debate, but arguments rarely lead to productive outcomes. Think about a time when you found yourself in a heated argument. Often, both parties end up feeling frustrated and unheard. Instead, try to find common ground and approach disagreements with an open mind. For example, if you're discussing a project with a colleague and you have differing views, focus on understanding their perspective and finding a compromise. Here's a story. You're negotiating with a client and tensions rise. Instead of arguing over details, you ask clarifying questions and seek to understand their needs better. This approach not only diffuses tension but also builds trust. Next, Carnegie shares an easy way to become a good conversationalist. The key here is to be a good listener. People love talking about themselves and their interests, so being genuinely interested in what they have to say is crucial. Imagine you're at a dinner party, and you engage in a conversation where you listen attentively, ask questions, and show interest. This not only makes the other person feel valued, but also helps you build a stronger connection. Here's a real-life example. You're attending a professional event, and you meet someone new. Instead of talking about yourself, ask them about their career and experiences. This approach makes you more memorable and fosters a positive interaction. Our fifth principle is how to interest people. Carnegie suggests talking about what others are interested in. It's about aligning your conversation with their passions and interests. Imagine you're meeting someone who is passionate about a particular hobby or topic. By showing interest and engaging in a conversation about their passion, you create a meaningful connection. For example, if someone loves hiking, ask them about their favorite trails and share experiences related to hiking. Here's a story. You're at a social gathering and you find out someone is passionate about cooking. By asking about their favorite recipes and discussing food, you make the conversation more engaging and enjoyable for both of you. Finally, Carnegie shares how to make people like you instantly. The key is to make the other person feel important and do it sincerely. Think about how you feel when someone genuinely appreciates your efforts or achievements. By offering sincere compliments and acknowledging others' contributions, you build strong, positive relationships. For example, if a colleague has just completed a successful project, congratulate them and highlight their hard work. Here's a real-life example. You're at a team meeting and one of your team members shares a great idea. By acknowledging their contribution and expressing genuine appreciation, you boost their confidence and strengthen your relationship. To recap, here are the 6 ways to make people like you, according to Dale Carnegie. Smile. A warm, genuine smile can make you more approachable and create a positive atmosphere. Remember names. Using someone's name in conversation makes them feel valued and respected. Avoid arguments. Focus on understanding others and finding common ground rather than arguing. Be a good listener. Show genuine interest in what others have to say and engage actively in the conversation. Talk about others' interests. Align your conversations with the passions and interests of others to create meaningful connections. Make others feel important. Offer sincere compliments and acknowledge their contributions. I hope you found these insights from Part 2 of Dale Carnegie's book valuable, and that they inspire you to connect with others more effectively. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to motivate us creating such useful summaries for everyone. Let's begin with Part 3 of Dale Carnegie's masterpiece. In this section, Carnegie explores strategies for winning people over to your way of thinking, and let me tell you, it's packed with practical advice that can really make a difference in your interactions. We'll break down each principle, provide real-life examples, and explore how you can apply these lessons in your own life. All right, let's dive into the 9 principles Carnegie shares in this section. Each one is designed to help you influence others effectively and constructively. Let's explore these principles in detail. Our first principle is, you can't win an argument. Carnegie argues that arguments are rarely productive and often lead to hard feelings. Let's unpack this with an example. Think about a time when you found yourself in an argument. Maybe it was a debate about a work project or a disagreement with a friend. Arguments often escalate and leave both parties feeling frustrated. Instead, try to understand the other person's perspective and find common ground. For instance, if you're debating a strategy with a colleague, focus on discussing solutions rather than proving who's right. Here's a story. Imagine you're discussing a proposal with the team. Instead of arguing over who's right, you ask clarifying questions and show a willingness to understand their viewpoint. This approach helps in resolving conflicts more amicably and fosters a collaborative environment. Next, Carnegie emphasizes a sure way of making enemies and how to avoid it. The key here is to avoid criticizing others. Criticism often puts people on the defensive and can harm relationships. Instead of criticizing, try to offer constructive feedback. For example, if a team member's report is missing some details, instead of criticizing their work, suggest how they could improve it and offer support. Here's an example. You're giving feedback to a colleague about a presentation. Instead of pointing out what went wrong, highlight the strengths of their presentation and offer suggestions for improvement. This approach encourages growth and maintains a positive relationship. Moving on to, if you're wrong, admit it. Carnegie suggests that admitting your mistakes quickly and sincerely builds trust and respect. Admitting when you're wrong shows humility and helps in maintaining credibility. For example, if you made an error in a report, owning up to it and correcting it promptly demonstrates integrity. Imagine you're leading a project and realize you made an oversight. By admitting your mistake and addressing it transparently, you not only rectify the issue but also build trust with your team. Our fourth principle is, a drop of honey. Carnegie emphasizes the power of kindness and praise. It's about approaching people with a positive attitude and using encouragement. Kind words and sincere compliments can go a long way. For instance, if a colleague has done a great job, recognize their efforts and express your appreciation. This not only motivates them but also strengthens your relationship. Let's say you're a manager and one of your team members goes above and beyond. By acknowledging their hard work and showing genuine appreciation, you inspire them and foster a positive work environment. Next up is, the secret of Socrates. Carnegie suggests using questions to guide conversations and find common ground. It's about leading others to arrive at conclusions themselves. Instead of telling someone what to do, ask questions that lead them to see the value of your perspective. For example, if you're trying to persuade a client to adopt a new strategy, ask questions that highlight the benefits and help them reach the same conclusion. You're discussing a new initiative with your team. Rather than imposing your ideas, ask questions that encourage them to consider the benefits and make the decision themselves. This approach fosters buy-in and collaboration. Our sixth principle is, the safety valve in handling complaints. Carnegie advises listening carefully to complaints and showing empathy. It's about addressing concerns with understanding. Listening without interrupting and acknowledging the other person's feelings helps in resolving issues more effectively. For instance, if a customer is unhappy with the service, listen to their concerns and show that you understand their frustration. You receive feedback from a client about a service issue. By listening carefully, empathizing with their experience, and taking steps to address the problem, you build trust and demonstrate your commitment to their satisfaction. Next, Carnegie shares how to get cooperation. The key here is to appeal to people's self-interest and align your requests with their goals. When you make a request, frame it in a way that shows how it benefits the other person. For example, if you need a colleague's help with a project, explain how their contribution will help achieve a shared goal. Imagine you're working on a team project and need input from a colleague. Instead of just asking for their help, explain how their expertise will contribute to the project's success and benefit the team. Our eighth principle is, a formula that will work wonders for you. Carnegie emphasizes the power of giving honest and sincere appreciation. It's about acknowledging people's efforts genuinely. Offering genuine praise and recognizing people's efforts builds goodwill and strengthens relationships. For example, if a team member has done an excellent job, acknowledge their hard work and express your appreciation sincerely. For an example, you're working with a colleague who has gone above and beyond. By expressing sincere appreciation and acknowledging their contributions, you boost their morale and reinforce a positive working relationship. Finally, Carnegie addresses what everybody wants. The principle here is to appeal to people's desires and motivations. It's about understanding what others want and aligning your approach accordingly. To influence others effectively, understand their motivations and align your approach with their interests. For example, if you're negotiating with a client, focus on how your proposal meets their needs and goals. Imagine you're trying to gain support for a new initiative. Instead of focusing solely on what you want, emphasize how the initiative aligns with the other person's interests and goals. By highlighting how it benefits them, you make your proposal more compelling and attractive. If you're leading a project that requires input from various departments, by understanding the specific needs and motivations of each department, you tailor your approach to show how the project will benefit their team and contribute to their success. We've explored essential principles on making people like you and winning them over to your way of thinking. Now we're moving into part 4, where Carnegie dives into the art of leadership and influencing people positively. This part is all about inspiring and motivating others, and it's packed with actionable insights that can truly make a difference. Let's dive right in. First one in part 4 is, if you must find fault, this is the way to begin. Carnegie stresses the importance of starting with praise before addressing areas of improvement. This approach helps in making the feedback more acceptable and encouraging. Imagine you're a manager providing feedback to a team member. Instead of jumping straight to what needs improvement, begin by acknowledging their strengths and contributions. For example, you might say, "You've done a great job on this project, especially with the research. Now, let's look at how we can improve the presentation to make it even better." Picture yourself leading a team and you need to address some errors in a report. Start by highlighting what was done well, before discussing the areas that need improvement. This approach makes the feedback more constructive and less likely to be met with defensiveness. Next, Carnegie shares how to criticize and not be hated for it. The key here is to be gentle and empathetic in your criticism. Avoid making personal attacks and focus on the specific behavior or issue. When offering criticism, frame it in a way that emphasizes improvement rather than fault. For example, if a colleague missed a deadline, address it by saying, "I noticed the deadline was missed. Let's work together to figure out how we can ensure this doesn't happen again." Here's a real-life example. Imagine you're discussing a project with a team member who made a mistake. Instead of blaming them, gently address the issue and work together on a solution. This approach fosters a positive environment and encourages growth. Our third principle is, talk about your own mistakes first. Carnegie suggests sharing your own errors before pointing out those of others. This approach creates a sense of camaraderie and reduces defensiveness. By admitting your own mistakes, you show humility and create an atmosphere of openness. For example, if you're discussing a project, start by mentioning a mistake you made and how you addressed it, before discussing similar issues with others. Next, Carnegie advises, no one likes to take orders. Instead of giving direct orders, try to involve others in decision-making and make requests in a way that shows respect for their opinions. Instead of saying, "You need to complete this report by Friday," try framing it as, "Would you be able to finish this report by Friday? Your input is crucial for our next meeting." This approach respects their autonomy and fosters collaboration. Here's an example. You need a team member to take on an additional task. Instead of issuing a direct order, explain the importance of the task and ask if they're able to help. This approach encourages cooperation and makes them feel valued. Our fifth principle is, let the other person save face. Carnegie emphasizes the importance of allowing others to maintain their dignity, even when addressing mistakes or disagreements. Handle mistakes or disagreements with sensitivity to avoid embarrassing others. For example, if a team member's work needs revision, address it privately and offer constructive feedback, rather than public criticism. Imagine a colleague makes a mistake in a presentation. Instead of pointing it out publicly, Take them aside and offer your feedback in a way that helps them improve without feeling embarrassed. Next, Carnegie shares how to spur people on to success. The key here is to encourage and motivate others by showing confidence in their abilities and offering support. By showing belief in others' potential and providing encouragement, you can inspire them to achieve great results. For example, if a team member is struggling with a task, offer words of encouragement and let them know you believe in their capabilities. Our seventh principle is, give the other person a fine reputation to live up to. Carnegie suggests that by recognizing and reinforcing people's strengths and potential, you encourage them to meet high standards. By acknowledging people's strengths and expressing confidence in their abilities, you create a positive expectation for their performance. For example, if you're promoting someone to a leadership role, highlight their past successes and express confidence in their ability to excel. Finally, Carnegie advises, make the other person happy about doing the thing you suggest. Frame your requests in a way that aligns with their interests and makes the task appealing. To make others eager to help, show how the task aligns with their interests or benefits them. For example, if you need a colleague's assistance on a project, explain how their skills will be instrumental and how it contributes to their professional growth. If you're asking a team member to lead a new initiative, present it as an exciting opportunity for them to showcase their skills and contribute to a high-impact project. This approach makes the request more appealing and motivates them to take it on enthusiastically. Wow, what a journey we've had through Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People. We've explored the art of building genuine relationships, influencing others positively, and leading with empathy and respect. Each part of this book offers timeless wisdom that's as relevant today as it was when Carnegie first wrote it. As we wrap up, remember that the essence of Carnegie's teachings is about respect, empathy, and genuine connection. Whether you're looking to improve your personal relationships, enhance your professional interactions, or become a more effective leader, these principles can serve as a powerful guide. They encourage us to approach others with kindness, to listen actively, and to inspire through our actions. I encourage you to reflect on these principles and think about how you can apply them in your own life. Start small. Maybe today, offer a genuine compliment, or listen more intently to someone you care about. You'll be amazed at the positive impact it can have. If you found this video valuable, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe for more insightful book summaries and personal development tips. I'd love to hear your thoughts on Carnegie's principles. Which one resonated with you the most? Drop a comment below and let's continue the conversation. Thank you so much for watching and for being part of this journey through how to win friends and influence people. Keep applying these timeless lessons and making a difference in your interactions. Until next time, stay connected, stay inspired, and keep growing.